Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm the obscure Angel BT, and for today what I have in here it is Attack on Titan 2. So this game was developed by the Omega Force and it is using their in-house engine. So the first game that I covered I think 1 or 2 years ago also was developed by the Omega Force. I think this is the same engine, but I noticed big improvements in the game's logic. So right now there is a destructibility which kills a lot my CPU. But let's start with the settings, shall we? So for the settings, I'm using pretty much what I will be calling a median settings. This game only has the low or the high settings, but if you enable the custom settings, you can reduce stuff like texture filtering, texture quality, effects quality, and shadows to median if you want. All these options as a median option. And so this is my favorite way of playing this game with this graphic card and this system. But sometimes the game do drop from the 30 frames per second to something like 27 or 28. Not a big drops, but sometimes do happen. And reducing the effects quality and the shadows to low do help, although the shadows gets horrible. So I decided to test the game with all the settings in the first chapter. I think it's the first chapter part 2 or something like that. It's pretty much near the beginning. And so I tested the game with the high, the median, the low, and my custom median settings. On this video I'll be using the median settings, and as you can see the average is around 38 frames per second, with the 1% low being at 28. By reducing the shadows and the effects quality, the 1% low gets to 31, so it never drops from the 30 frames per second. But again, the shadow quality really gets bad. The low settings do average around 56, but I can't hold those 60 frames per second. This is because of the CPU. Okay, there is a big bottleneck in the CPU with the low settings, because this game it is much more now demanding to the CPU. There is a lot of stuff going on, and so if you have a much better CPU with this graphic card, with the low settings you can get those 60 frames per second easily. Okay, but with this CPU that don't really happen, and honestly the low settings do look really bad comparing to the median settings or to the high settings. The high settings, talking about this one, you can see a 1% low of 6 frames per second. So what happens mostly is you start to play the game with the high settings, the game runs normally, very close to the median settings, around those 30 frames per second. But after a while your VRAM gets full, if you have a 2 GB version of the graphic cards listed on the title, and suddenly the frame rate drops to 7 frames per second or 8 frames per second, gets completely unplayable, and it never gets back. So the only solution for that is to reduce your textures to the median settings. Okay, doing this will solve the problem for you. Okay, because the game do use all the entire 2 GB and the graphic card can't handle more textures than that, and so it just drops to 7 frames per second. If you have the 1 GB version of this graphic card and this do happen to you with the median textures, you might need to reduce your textures to both settings. So bottom of all, it's just that median settings or the high settings, for me graphically they are very close to each other. I struggle to find a difference in graphics between those median and high settings, although from median to low or low to median there is a really big downgrade in graphics quality. The frame rate also, there is a very big difference in frame rate, but again this CPU can't really handle those 60 frames per second, and so for me median settings and this frame rate around 30s to 40s, it is my favorite way of playing this game, and this is the settings that I do recommend for you. And again, if you want some extra frame rate, dropping stuff like shadow quality, effects quality, and even depth of field and aliasing and motion blur might do help you to sustain better those 30 frames per second. Okay, so that's all that I want to talk about Attack on Titan 2. I will keep be playing this chapter and chapter or part of this game until the end, so it's 12 minutes of video, so if you want to stay with the video, just stay it. I will go away and I will shut up right now. Okay, so thank you a lot for watching until now, and I do hope to keep enjoying the rest of the video, and goodbye. Thank you a lot.
じゃあ私らの持ち場じゃねえだろ。でも私は行く。見捨てていい理由なんてないよ。やったやるぜ。 がとう。助かった。何かあったらその縁談で知らせてくれ。その時は君の援護に向かう。助かります。これを使えば拠点を設営してくれて補給も受けられるんですよね。頑張らなきゃ。私もみんなの役に立ちたい。こんなのねえだろ。お前ら無事だったか。みんな話は後だ。巨人が近づいてきてる。
よし、やるぞ。
私だってやってやるんだから。この辺りのはいなくなったね。行こうエレン。僕たちの持ち場はこの先だ。
お前らまた後でな。よし、俺が討伐数ストップだ。
あ、エレン気をつけてね。
そろそろガスが心配だな。一度本部に戻って補給しようぜ。倒す。やった。チェキショー、もうダメだ。誰か助けてくれ。すまない、俺も戦う。手伝わせてくれ。お前らか。巨人が邪魔で補給に行けねえんだ。討伐を手伝ってくれ。死にたくねえよ。やってやるぜ。討伐した。倒した。倒す。討伐した。助かった。これで絶対できる。バカ言ってんじゃねえ。俺らはこっから前線の支援任務だろうが。
ビビって動けねえやつはほっとけ。とっとと補給するぞ。
そう、俺はもう死ぬのか。誰か救援を頼む。助かったぞ。感謝する訓練兵。俺は砲台を起動し援護に回る。拠点は任せる。
たくさん仲間が死んでいく。
やるぜ。補給は済ませたな。よし、ここから離れるぞ。
待って、巨人が一体こっちに近づいてきてる。補 ほっとくわけにはいかねえな。ここで仕留めるぞ。
無理すんなよ。その巨人他のやつよりヤバそうだ。バカおかげだ。
大したことなかったな。もういいだろ。撤退しちまおうぜ。
なんだエレンたちが向かった方からだ。急ぐぞ。